All right, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. I am Michelle Stone.
I'm Jenna Rose.
And we are the UMC. We are sitting down for another segment of Whine and Whine. We are joined by some amazing artists here in Nashville and a couple of my personal friends, members of Manic and Miss Maggie Miles. You guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves by name to the people watching?
I am Nicholas.
I'm Maggie.
I'm Jake.
Yeah. So I've seen these guys for a while. I actually discovered Nicholas through Instagram and like fell in love with Manic sound. And then that's when I stumbled upon Maggie. And ever since, I've just been hooked. And I tell everyone I know about them. I think that they're just incredible. So we're super excited to sit down with them today and talk to them and get to know them. As you guys know, since we're doing Whine and Whine, you can't do that without Whine. So we are sponsored by our friends, City Winery. I'm going to give you guys a thank you for sponsoring us and being a part of this. Do want to let you guys know a little bit about City Winery. They are situated in the Warehouse District on Lafayette Street. They're by the Jack White's Third Records, actually, if you guys know the White Stripes. And they are a 300-seat entertainment venue and a bar. So City Winery is not just a place where they make wine. You can actually go and like eat and drink, and it's super cool. So we want to thank them a lot for sponsoring it. We're going to start out by opening our Mel Rosé. Jenna, you want to tell them a little bit about the Mel Rosé?
Yes, I can give some information while you pour.
Yeah.
You want to do it that way? So this wine is actually made from where, very close to where I grew up. This is in Mendocino County. I was in the neighboring county in California. And Mendocino is California's most northern wine region. Ocean fogs drift in and cover the vineyards, lending beautiful acidity to the wines grown there. So we've got a beautiful coastline up there. This rose gold rosé is perfect for a warm summer evening, ripe with bright notes of strawberry and yuzu on the nose. This light and refreshing rosé is one to stock up on. It pairs well with summer salads, spicy Thai, and your favorite porch swing.
Ooh, and we actually did get some food here today to pair with the wine because, of course, we can't like get our artists drunk and not feed them. I mean, we can.
Wait, Jacob's is so much steeper. Let's catch up.
I know, Jake. I let the artists pour by themselves, and this is what happens.
I'm so sorry.
You told me they wanted you.
We've got plenty.
We do have plenty, though. Thank goodness for that. So we do have some food for our artists today.
So good. Thank
We're
you.
gonna do tasting. You guys want to do a cheers for everyone? I know your guys are jealous you're
That's
not here right now and joining this with us, but
Clink.
Cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for having us, and to UMC and to City Winery.
Yes.
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
get
And Jack
comfy.
White.
And Jack
Jack
White. I
White.
mean,
Thank you,
because
Jack
like if
White.
you're watching this,
I'm already more comfortable.
So guys, let's get comfy and let's get some talking. So let's tell people a little bit about what you guys do. I know Maggie has her own thing and you two are in your band together. So whoever wants to start out, just let's tell people about Manic, and Maggie, tell them about yourself and just your musical journey. Whoever wants to go first.
Ladies first.
Ladies first, yeah. Maggie. Maggie is incredible, guys. If you haven't checked her out,
You're like,
she's not to
I
be
hate you.
not to be confused with the Maggie Miles that has her name on Instagram. It's _ Maggie Miles. I saw your story about you wanting to. You're like, please, I need that name. Maggie's incredible. She's just honestly one of the most talented people I've seen. And I hadn't even met her before, like, you know, gathering that hypothesis. But Maggie, yeah, just tell them about your musical journey and about yourself.
Yeah, musical journey. You know, I feel like the musical part of the journey started kind of recently, but I've been in Nashville for like, it'll be 2 years in August.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of it has been mostly just my bedroom because of COVID, like a lot of people. But yeah, I just honestly, I just say that I make pop music, and because I feel like that's the widest brush and a lot of people can listen to it. But sometimes it can lean a little rock and roll, sometimes it can lean soulful and R&B, but yeah, I just try and write from a place of truth and my life and personal experiences. And
So you said you moved here. Where'd you move from?
Virginia.
Virginia. Ooh,
Northern
what part
Virginia.
of Virginia?
It's a little town called Round Hill.
Round Hill. I have a couple friends in Virginia, so that's why I ask.
What
So,
part?
it's near Lynchburg, I think. Is
Oh
where-
yeah, like
yeah.
Southern Virginia.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So you said your musical journey just kind of started. What do you mean by that? Because like looking at what you've done, I would assume that you've been doing it like since you were a kid,
Right?
because you're so like you're so talented. I mean, you're incredible, and your aesthetic, I guess, is the right word. I can't pronounce things. Jenna knows this.
Yeah.
Is just
Guys
it's
are
one of a
very
kind. So like, what do you mean by you kind of just started? What got you into it?
I guess what I meant by that was more just kind of like the journey. Someone was like at the door. Oh,
Come in.
Just go ahead, keep going.
sorry, I have ADD. I'm like,
Our producer Gerard is sneaking around doing
He
things, and
is.
it's distracting. It is. You'll get used to it.
Shake it. Work, Gerard. You gotta do something while you're here.
oh man.
You're killing it.
Yeah. So 2 years ago. So kind of explain how you got started, and how you've gotten so far where you're at.
Oh, well, thank you. I guess just, there's a lot of like lead up to a release that I think only songwriters and artists can really understand. Like you can have a song that has kind of been, I call them organ donors, when you have like, you write a bridge and you're like, I don't know what that is, and then you end up not scrapping it and using it as a chorus for something else, or like, you know what I mean? And so stuff like that can kind of happen, and I think it was like multiple versions of that mixed with me growing and changing as an individual, where I feel like who I am as Maggie Miles as an artist is like the most that they've been ever, and that's been a really recent thing for me. I feel like I was kind of really, really insecure about how eclectic my sound is, but I think once I just embraced that that's kind of just like who I am as a personality, and I'm not like one-dimensional or anything. Like once I just kind of leaned into that, I was like, oh, that is the branding.
It's so difficult too to accept yourself. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people think that it's easy, but accepting yourself is truly like it's a difficult journey. And I know you did just come out with an album, which we'll talk about a little later. Don't want to get into it just yet, but you did just come out with this stellar album that I've been listening
Thank
to.
you.
Incredible artwork, and your promo behind it I've been creeping on is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what about you guys? So Nicholas, Jacob, whoever wants to talk, tell us about Manic. I know the origin. I've talked to Nicholas about this in detail, but for people that are watching, like, just tell them kind of how Manic was formed, how you guys came together, like.
I used to be in a pop punk band, and it just felt like it was only one part of the equation to me, and I ended up just like around the time that I left college, I left the band too, and like Manic really just became, I think, like a journey kind of deeper into myself and into the world around me. It was like me kind of making my own just conscious choice to step kind of into my own avenue and make my own
And like
journey
become
and
yourself more than you were.
yeah, and to like lean into the things that, like, I don't know, for like when I was really young, I feel like I just wrote songs that like sounded cool, and sometimes there was truth to it, and I wanted to dig deeper than I ever had before. And I, at the time that I was starting Manic, I was also like sobering up from struggling with pill addictions and narcotic addictions for a few years, and just from being in a really dark place, and I dropped out of college, and Manic was like kind of the shadow self and the rest of the world and the unknown, and
Manic kind of saved you, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was like a way for me to compartmentalize all of that. And I started the alias and then just started traveling. So I didn't release anything like for years because I was just going like from state to state and just like learning and growing and breaking down and like going through everything that I went through in my life. And then when I got here, I ended up meeting Liam, and then I met Maggie through Liam, and then I met Josh, our drummer, on the Yep page on Facebook, and then I met Jacob as well on the Yep page on Facebook, who has been friends with Josh since like they went to college together.
Oh wow, so you guys kind of met online too.
Yeah.
Man, online is amazing.
And like we all just fell into this little pocket, and we're all just a bunch of like screwed up awkward kids that really like kind of a range of like different but similar artists, and we have a lot of the same I think a lot of the same influences, but we're all different, and we all kind of bring our own thing to it, and we just have vibed together, and I
Uniqueness.
think we just started making music together.
I know you guys have, like, you know, because I've been over and I've heard some of the stuff you guys are sitting on, and I'm like, oh my God. And I feel to
So
piggyback
dope.
off you said, it's kind of a trap being a musician sometimes, because you live in this world where music that sounds really good but has little depth to it is very popular. So like, you as a musician are like, man, what can I make to kind of get someone's attention so I can actually make the stuff I want to make? And then I feel like that almost puts you in just like this endless ravel of like, okay, well then who am I? Well then no, I don't want to put this out just to be like this. And I feel like that's something that you guys have all been going through as
Mhm.
artists and figuring out, and you're all starting to kind of come into your sound
Yeah.
and an idea of who you are. What about you, Jacob? So you guys met on Facebook, so
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to be a part of Manic. Like,
why not?
well,
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I
That's
thought
the way it
everybody would
starts off.
laugh.
Well, I didn't really want to be a part of this band.
He like gets up and leaves.
no, it's like it was the
Thank you.
fallout from like a former life.
We're a black hole that swallows everything.
We really are. I had quit music a couple years before that, and I moved here with some of the members of my original band. That after that kind of fell through, I had ended up just kind of like giving it up. I was gonna focus on writing, which is I guess primarily more of what I do. But as it goes, I moved here, and like the idea wasn't to join a Manic, but I'm glad I found the Manic that I did. I ended up meeting Nick, and it was obvious pretty quickly that we're on pretty much the same page together. And you know, when the energy is like high, when the energy is high in the room, it's hard to lie about it. And at a certain point, you have to kind of stop complaining or stop being like melancholy about yourself or your life, and just accept that when the power's there, and you got to find the power and you got to follow the power. And so that's how I ended up in Manic. I was just following the power.
And
here we
also
are.
be uncomfortable too. Like, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. That's something I love saying all the time, because I have to remind myself of that, because I'm like, oh my God, Michelle. Like, sitting down, for example, and hosting a show, like, my personality is normally like, I'm behind the scenes kind of person. So doing this is very outside of my comfort zone. But look what it brings. You know, it brings so much good things. So that's really cool that you were able to kind of push yourself out and be like, I'm going to do this then, you know,
Yeah,
and now
I
look at
was
you.
kind of like doing my own thing for a while, and it was going okay, but I didn't have the funding, and like
Ooh.
I just wanted to tell my story, but I didn't want to make a big deal about it, and I didn't really want to be like a musician and an artist. I just wanted to be an artist, and then I met Nick, and like I said, I mean, when the energy's high in the room, you just kind of like have to go with it. Otherwise, you're just lying to yourself.
I feel like one of the big ethos, like, that just encapsulates the whole, like, I can't even just say the band, because it's not the band, because it extends out to Maggie and to Sly Boy and all the groups that we work with, but it's like going into the unknown together. You know, it's us being willing to, like, every time we go into a session, we're constantly trying to break down our own ways of doing things and our old ways of doing things and the normal way of doing things, and just like trying to play around. And I think that we admired, like, Maggie and naturally gravitated towards each other because, like, she does that with her artistry, and you and Liam do that really well together for your stuff, and same with Jacob.
You guys
His
got a
stuff
great
is-
chemistry. I mean, it's that's one reason, like, people are wondering, like, why do you have two different artists on here? It's because they make songs together, and their chemistry is just like combined. It's amazing how well, and just the fact that you guys all came from different places and then came together, and it's like, okay, this is like way too perfect to be true, but it is true. I can
So-
see Jen
yeah.
over there, eager, ready.
So speaking of all of that, how did you guys come together? I know you met online and through each other, but like, how did you come together and actually start creating music together? Like, specifically the two of you, but I guess also, I mean, you just spoke on some of it, but if there's more to that story as well.
I'd say actually the very first time Maggie and I worked together, we weren't even in the same room together.
Yeah.
So we were working on Through, which was the second
Yeah.
Manic release, and Liam was working on it at his place, and we wanted to have some backing vocals on it. So him and Maggie, they were both hanging out while he was working on stuff. So he got her vocals on it. So her vocals were on that song, like kind of really like buried under
Buried
there
under there,
because of what happened with some of the mixing, but she was working on some of that really early stuff, and Liam plays guitar for her live and produces a bunch of her stuff as well. So she's just kind of been around, and we wanted to do a song.
Just like a parasite.
Yeah, like no, no, she's been blowing up, and
You're doing so good.
we started going to every show, and
They've been so supportive from the beginning.
and I've
dude.
been looking for artists that I wanted to work with that I resonated with too for a long time, and you're just sick, and
I'm gonna cry.
and
Lots of emotions here.
yeah, and we I don't know, it just kind of happened that when we were finishing up the EP, and we just didn't feel like we had a single yet, and we were or at least I was kind of banging my head trying to find what was going to be the song, and then I found this voice memo from the month before I left Denver like 5 years ago. That was like this verse that I had just started when I was like driving one day, and I like retracked it really quick with this new guitar riff that I had, and I sent it over to Liam, and I was like, do you think this could be one of the songs? And he was like, we are working on it tomorrow. And he came over, and we worked on it in the living room, and we hashed out a good amount of the song, and then the song didn't have a chorus yet. We wrote all of the song before we had a chorus, and we were just kind of sitting again, and we did a session, and we invited Maggie to come help us with writing. And
Was that the first time you guys like
That was our first time in the
probably
room.
that time.
We
Yeah,
wrote
wrote
together?
Nothing With You.
What song
Yeah.
was that?
Oh,
Nothing
sorry.
With You.
Nothing
Yeah.
with You. So it was Nothing with You. Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a good
And
song.
we just we were sitting and kind of writing back and forth on it for a little bit when Liam said, what if this was a collab, and what if Maggie sang on the chorus?
Your voice sounds so good, and like
Oh,
I
thank
know
you.
what you mean now by like it being compressed under, because when you listen to Nothing With You, like your voice comes in, and it's almost like you didn't know you needed that in the song because the song was already really good, and then you hear that and you're like, okay, this just got way better. Kind of like this thing you guys just came out with too. Yeah, so that's incredible. So we are here doing wine. You know, that is a big part of it. We do have food here for our artist, and I want you guys to do some ASMR for our viewers.
What?
Ooh.
So you got your mic right there. Pick your poison that you think would go best. Jenny, you want to tell them what you got them so they know?
Yeah, so we got 4 different kinds of hummus. There's pesto, red pepper, garlic, and basil jalapeno. So they're all different flavors that you can try out with the wines and see what goes best. And then we've got cheese and crackers. And then we also have from our friends at City Winery. They're so generous and always wanting to help their community. They also contributed some
What are those called?
some special ganache chocolates. So we've got those as well.
Truffles, is that what they're called?
They are truffles,
Are they
yes.
truffles?
Are they
Yeah.
ganache truffles?
Yeah,
You can
I think
find
so.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
we have
they are.
different flavors on there too.
They're all
so-
different kinds, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So
ganache
guys, go ahead and
artist?
dig in and like give us
Oh,
some
and then
ASMR.
the potato chips, because potato chips are it may sound a little funny, but potato chips happen
that
to
wine
be
good?
one of the best things that you can pair with wine.
Oh, really? I mean, that's a good thing to like. So that's a good thing to know. If you don't want to go crazy with food, potato chips, and Jenna would know. Jenna is from California. She's very like expert on wine, so she's good with pairing stuff.
Do it.
So yeah, guys, come on, give us some ASMR. Choose your weapon, and I want to hear some chewing.
Maggie,
in that mic.
Maggie is curious
Amen.
how you would define ASMR.
Get close to the mic,
They have to
and
be right up in there.
we want to hear it for our viewers. Come on, Maggie, we need your ASMR right now.
You do?
I need it.
What does it stand for?
Something that has to do with sounds being good on the mic. I don't
I
know.
can Google
Is
it.
you're
it
in the-
attack sustain?
Yeah, Google it.
Is
If you're in
All
the comments,
sounds must reverb.
dang, she's good at
All-
acronyms on the spot.
all sounds
That was not
more
on the spot.
reverb.
I'm a scientist.
Autonomous sensory meridian
as she straightens her bow
response.
tie, I have
My
a degree.
bow tie.
Did you
What's
get
it
that?
called, Jen?
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Oh, that's a.
So it gives you good feelings to hear it, or
There you go.
or potentially bad feelings, but
That's cool.
it gives you a response.
like
when you
nails
hear
on a
it.
Gives me
chalkboard.
bad
I would say is bad ASMR.
I just know it's like half of what's on my TikTok.
Jacob and Nicholas, you guys can look each other in the eyes if you want to. When you
Nothing.
So
new.
do you guys have a TikTok? Have you gotten on that trend? TikTok?
Oh, look at her.
My mouth is full.
Oh yeah,
Really
yeah,
important.
Maggie,
Well, you're
dip it in
supposed to be
there.
speaking
Maggie's
with your mouth
ASMR
full
was
right
like-
now. That's the point of what we're doing.
Got it.
Dip it in there. Yeah.
What if I just like burped?
That people
That'd
would
be a
like.
good one.
Open another wine
guys want that?
because I don't
Yes.
have any. And
Yeah, here I'll.
gotta be able to-
Let
I'll take
Maggie
care
do
of
her ASMR.
Sorry, I'm awful and drained.
I want Maggie to look the
Bottle.
camera directly in the eye, Maggie, and just look them and be like, she's
Too late.
she.
You getting that, Gerard?
What was the
Um,
question?
Our
There's
friend
a
Jacob
clipping.
here
Won't know for a second.
poured half the bottle of our rosé. So we're gonna go ahead and open another bottle. Jenna, you want to tell everybody what you're opening and a little
Some
bit
big
about that
runners.
as well.
Yes, I can do that.
And just a reminder that
Do that
City
in just a moment.
Winery
Like,
is
super stuff my
available for
face.
private parties, events, things like that. So if you are interested in City Winery and you want to try some wine and you also have things you want to do, City Winery can book your event and you can go have fun
That's
there.
cool. I used to work for
I'll
City
pass
Winery.
this
They
down.
treat their people right.
Yeah,
Good.
and City Winery
Can
supports
confirm.
local
So much
music.
fun.
So yeah, City Winery is very supportive of underground music, and we're very thankful of that.
All right.
Yeah, Jenna, tell them about
Pass
our
that
rosé.
down.
Miss?
No, this is the
You
cab.
guys watch Mr. Jacob here with his pouring.
Oh, Mr. Jacob.
So the cab is also from California,
Fill mine up for me there, Mr. Nicholas.
We'll start there.
Adeleda Vineyard. Says California has a long continuing history, recognized as producing some of the world's finest wines. Paso, known for its warm weather, also welcomes coastal influence from the west side of the 101, where Adeleda is located. This brings bright and light influence to all of its red fruit. So this cab here that we've got, which actually might taste better in a few moments after it's been a little aerated.
Oh, so it needs to be kind of like,
When?
so you gotta, so from what she's saying, like when you pour it, that means it, like the air, which I know the technicals of that, like when you're, but that's some good stuff to know, because if you're not a wine expert like me and you just like kind of drink to get drunk, it's a good thing to know that you could get more drunk if you just wait a second.
I don't know about more drunk, but it'll taste better.
I don't know where I was going with that.
So actually, one of the things that you can do that it might seem like it's a little bit stuck up to do it, but if you spin the wine, be very careful on the couch doing this. But if you spin the wine in the glass, that actually does help with the flavoring because it does aerate the wine.
I feel like a fancy person who's like, yes, and I
I looked
spin
at
the
the camera
wine. And,
deadpan when she said it. I was like,
so yeah, so
So I've got more here.
yeah, I got a little bit more on the cab.
All right, so the cab, it says with rich tones of mocha, cherry, allspice, mocha, cherry, and allspice. This Cabernet Sauvignon is bound to be one of your new favorites. Its warmth across every broad palate. Its gemstone color and vibrant nose won't be one you'll forget.
You guys got some broad palates,
And
Oh,
you'll
mine's
want to
pretty
pair this
Pretty
with
broad.
skirt steak tacos,
Yeah, I studied it.
fried Brussels sprouts,
I study
Ooh.
abroad.
balsamic vinegar,
broad.
and a slice of cherry pie.
Cherry pie.
I
So
definitely get the,
the
cherry
cherry.
pie.
Yeah.
let's talk about
actually-
something that doesn't have to do anything with music. Tell
Yikes.
me just something interesting that you guys are really into besides music. Like, what do you like? Animals? Like, do you like going out and like hiking? Like, what is something that's like kind of like that you guys love doing besides music?
Jacob is a mountain man.
Yeah, he's
I'm-
literally a mountain.
Sorry.
Are you so you like hiking a lot? Where have you hiked? Have you hiked anywhere like big or?
Mostly Gatlinburg.
Oh,
I haven't gotten to travel as much as I wanted. College
Man.
took up so much of my life.
Tell them about where we went hiking.
Oh
recently.
yeah, up at the dome in Klingman's. Can recommend. It's out in Gatlinburg. It's off the. There's like a touristy strip that's kind of like downtown Nashville a little bit. It's kind of. It's like a
Like commercially.
Yeah, it's like a family getaway for like a weekend or something. But past it, when you actually get into the mountains, it's absolutely gorgeous. I can absolutely recommend it to
is it a big
anyone.
hike? Like, is it like difficult? And
I made
there
Nick
was
pretty
a few
miserable.
different paths.
Yeah.
Well, we went in and he was like, "We're just gonna do the first, like the shortest thing, and then we can come back." And we were like, "Okay." And we did it, and it sucked. And then he was like, "Let's do the next one." And
And the next one wasn't like the hike where you like have the bars and everything, and where it's like set up for people to walk.
yeah, it was like off trail.
The next one was like off trail hiking.
So we did that, and then we get there, and we're like pretty taxed, and
Right.
me and my girlfriend Tay are like sitting,
Shout
like
out Tay.
yeah, just hyperventilating, and
Oh my gosh.
I
yeah.
promised Nick that it
Sounds
would be an easy
traumatizing.
hike.
yeah, And then they're like,
To you.
and then
To
they're
you.
like, we should go on the next one because I want to go see the waterfall. And we were like, okay, let's go. So we just
The waterfall's at the bottom of the mountain.
yeah. So we started. So
Oh.
we started going for it. And what was it? 8.5 miles.
6,500 feet down to 4,200 feet.
Holy shit.
And we did that
and
in like an hour and a half.
Love
Yeah.
that.
2 hours, I think.
And
Something
then
like
you
that.
had to go back up after.
Yeah, and we had to go back up after.
I have
Honest-
asthma. I'd be like,
It was probably one of the most like I would put it up within probably the top 10 like days of the band being together though.
That's
Like,
cute.
as far as just like
Maggie.
So what about that
Bonding?
bonded you guys?
I think it was
Pain?
like yeah, well, I don't know, like Jacob was there with me through like me losing my mom this summer, and we've gone through a lot this year with like just changes in our lives and COVID and everything, and I think the hike and are like wanting to quit on your way up the mountain and feeling like you can't, and
Yeah.
the internal like that trip may have been the most sober I was for like a straight few hours, like in a like that whole week.
It sounds like you didn't only hike up a literal mountain, but you hiked up a metaphorical one.
Yeah, it sounds like
Exactly.
it was
Yeah.
healing. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like
just,
kind of emotional.
yeah, and to do it with like your friends and people that you really care about,
Very
and
safe, yeah.
yeah, it just really was a testament to in a time when we felt like we didn't know if we were going to be able to kind of pull ourselves out of our own crap.
I'd
or
also
whatever,
test
you know?
my friends, like, if zombie apocalypse is happening, can they make it up this mountain with me? Are they?
Who's
capable?
on your arm? Who's on your zombie army?
God, so far I don't know. I know for sure. Like, I always tell people, because they always like, Michelle, dude, I would join. I'm like, I want to be solo, because I feel like if I had people with me, it would just slow me down, and
That's
then
the way
I'd
to do
get
it.
sympathetic, and then, I feel like I'm more of a lone wolf survivor. But if I did find people that I feel that I could for sure survive with, I don't know though.
Okay, so I have a question for everybody. If you're choosing your zombie army, what qualities would you look for in your
yeah.
teammates?
I mean,
She's like, I haven't
brisk
thought about
walking
this.
pace.
I have.
Oh,
I
you?
have
Oh,
thought about this.
no.
Absolutely.
I want to hear from Maggie specifically on this. Then
I mean, they need to be trustworthy. Did you ever watch Walking Dead?
I did, yeah. After like season 8, though, I got bored because I was like, oh my god, it's like,
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
It
it
totally
droned
train
out.
wrecked. AMC, I'm calling you out. I know you're watching this. AMC knows who we are, for sure. No, dude.
I'll do a
Like,
collab track for Walking
yeah,
Dead.
let's collab with Andrew Lincoln.
and I want more John Wayne movies.
Okay.
What happened to you guys taking those
Yeah,
down?
that has to. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Westerns.
Yeah, what happened to that? Anyways, yeah, so
I don't know. I mean, like,
trustworthiness is a big one.
yeah, because, like, the biggest threat at that show after, like, season 1 wasn't even the zombies. It was other humans,
And
because
people
humans
were
suck
training.
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so you gotta hang in with people who are trustworthy.
If they're not Dawn of the
And-
Dead zombies, though. Have you seen Dawn of the Dead?
I haven't seen Dawn of the
Oh
Dead.
my god, those zombies. Have either of you seen Dawn of the Dead? Have you seen Dawn of the Dead?
Is there a Dusk of the Dead?
I've
I don't
saw-
know.
seen
There's a
Shaun
Shaun of the Dead. That's the funny one. Well, Dawn of
That's
the
the one
Dead
I've seen.
zombies. So on Walking Dead, how they just like on Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
they run.
They
I mean,
run.
like they
Ooh.
run. So it's like that's a whole lot.
I mean, endurance is another one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Emotional
Keep
endurance.
up.
In
gotta
hand
be
with
able to-
that, I was gonna say they can't like complain.
No.
Like they gotta be able to keep up. You know, if
I
you're
mean,
gonna...
I can't handle
Oh,
people,
people
who
that
complain
complain,
in
oh my
general.
God.
I
In a
know.
general sense,
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
like, stop.
Maybe this is why you guys all work together so
I need
well.
to zoom in on Maggie's face when we.
No, you
when we
don't.
air.
Can I have that wine?
Oh yeah,
I probably have red wine on my.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Man.
that's hilarious. What about you guys? Same thing
Oh, no,
with
I'm
you,
okay.
like trustworthiness and
Yeah,
Do you want me to hold
just they need
something
to be
while
able
you-
to keep
I've got
up.
it.
It's funny you asked most of the
Double
Manic
fisting
crew.
here.
We'd probably all come packing weapons. Like,
What do you
Here
think
we
my
go.
weapon would
Like-
be?
well, we've already kind of hypothesized
Yeah, we've already
about
established
this.
I guess we
Yeah,
have.
Yeah.
yeah. We just need to figure out who takes the axe.
Can I take
Next.
the axe?
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
But
Well, I feel like Josh could take.
But I have the axe, and
No, Josh comes with like a little stiletto.
I feel like that's the same way why like
Josh
the reason
claimed the
I say
dagger.
no people is because like that's what I'm scared of is like I'd be on a team with people and like you feel like you know someone. It's kind of like living with someone. You feel like you know them and then you live with them and you're like I didn't really know you. So I feel like that'd be a zombie apocalypse. Like you'd be like, oh God, I love you guys. You're like my best friends. And then like a couple weeks in, you'd really start to see how people are.
There's a difference between being friends with somebody and having to survive with somebody.
It's so true. That's so true.
Is
so it's
that
like
not how it is every day though?
oh, I don't know.
Is that
I mean,
I'm sorry.
this last year.
Depends on who's paying.
I
the
mean,
bills,
last
right?
year, well, money would be nothing if we had the zombie apocalypse. So, to get back on my question too, Maggie, what is something you like besides music that's like, because I know that you're obviously like music is your biggest passion and stuff like that, but I don't
Kinda
know about
hate
you
it.
kind of personally. Like, what do you like to do that's like besides music? Like, what's something you really enjoy doing? Besides making great faces, she has some really good mannerisms, guys.
Thank you so much. Actually, you know what? This is the time in middle school. There were people that called me rubber face. All right. So I think personally, like, oh gosh. All right. Well, City Winery sponsoring this. I think for me, like, I've always loved just the idea of like entertaining people, and I think that throughout my life, I would love to like evolve in that. And so at some point, if I was given like the opportunity to like do stuff like in front of a camera, I think that'd be cool. Like as far that sounded so bad.
I mean, are you like an
Especially the first part.
Can we
where
try
we
that
had
again?
to- where we had to talk
Scrub?
about City Winery sponsoring
you heard it
this
here
before she
first.
started.
Maggie Miles wants to do stuff in front of the
You're
camera
going down with that one.
for
yeah.
a living.
This is on the internet forever.
I love watching you loosen up too,
Sorry,
Maggie, which is
Nicole.
something I noticed. I've seen you loosen up a little bit. I haven't met you yet, but Maggie, like just seeing you from like you coming in and you now like seeing your loose up your personality is so cool and stellar, and I can see exactly why you guys get along so well.
Thank you. No, these are literally like they're my brothers. I love these guys so much.
Yeah, you guys vibe so well. And so what about, I know you like tell the people watching what's something you love to do, but I know you love art because y'all's like online thing and all the art you post up, Nicholas, is just like absolutely amazing. What's something you love to do besides music?
I mean, I feel like I forget because recently we spend so much time just making music, but I do spend a good amount of time painting. I read a lot. Been hiking with Jacob and with different people.
So there's like art all around, honestly.
Yeah.
And your dog, he has a dog just like me. We both have little 9-year-old dogs. They're both pit mixes.
Yeah.
What was your dog's name again? I remember.
Alice.
Alice, yes. I met Alice, and she's just like a giant
She's my
big
little fish
baby.
baby.
She's very
Alice,
charming.
I know you're not watching this, but if you were, I love you.
She's like an old grandma.
So
the
you
blue
guys,
stuff.
She's
so
our granny baby.
we've established that you guys are very close. You're like family, and that you trust each other. So how about you each give some dirt on somebody else
Oh damn!
in the room right now?
I don't know. I feel like me and Nick have enough dirt on each other.
Do you have any
to-
soil in your pocket? Because that's acceptable as well if
Down.
you want to hand over soil to each other.
I don't.
She said, give the dirt. Get it? Because soil. Get-
Aw.
I am not a comedian for a reason.
No. Oh my gosh. Do you hear that? It's the sound of laughter in like 70 hours when people are watching this. It's hilarious. I mean, no,
Only-
this is live.
Only
We're
other
laughing right now.
Michelles that are in the
So
universe. So we do have a performance that they're gonna gift to us. I'm so excited to see it. Unfortunately, this conversation has moved way too fast. We're already like up in our time. So we are gonna hand it over to them and let them do what they do best, which is perform and put on some music. So yeah, with no further ado, I introduce you guys Manic and Miss Maggie Miles.
Let's do it.
Hey, I am so grateful to be here this evening with my friends in Manic, who are like just off screen. I don't know if you can even see them. But thank you so much, Underground Music Collective, for having us and for the fun snacks and the really good wine and for a place for me to put my keyboard and sing to you. Anyway, the song's called What Do I Say? Hope you like it. You don't have to. It goes like this. How come I sing to myself all the time? Might be to silence my mind. 'Cause I've been digging through my old emotions, never seem to get run around back and forth. You even there, do you ever even think about me? If you're waiting for an answer, I don't have a plan, so what do I say, what do I say, what do I say? When I'm losing my faith, losing my faith, losing my faith. And I'm pushing in a place where I can't relate, and I don't even know if I wanna stay. But what do I say, what do I say, what do I say? Oh, what do I say? Regret stupid things I seem to do. Forget you haven't left even though you should. Mention in my inhibitions never seem to hear. I'm teetering on bad decisions. Are you even scared? Do you ever even think about me? Yeah. What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? When I'm losing my faith, losing my faith, losing my faith. I'm stationed in a place where I can relate, and I don't even know if I wanna stay. But what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? Oh, I know you've got good intentions. Oh, I know my contradictive mind said, oh, I can't help but wonder if I, oh, I can, oh, I can. What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? When I'm losing my faith, losing my faith, losing my faith. I'm stationed in a place where I can relate, and I don't even know if I wanna stay. But what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? What do you say? What will you say? What will you say? Cool, thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicholas from Manic, and this is Slowly from the Inside. What about this feeling you left behind that's killing me? Slowly from the inside, slowly, slowly, slowly from the inside, slowly, slowly. You're creeping through an open wound. Now everything is gray and blue, nothing can compare to you. When did the night become so quiet? The hours without you twice as desolate. The knees into my chest tightly and wait for it to end. Now everything is gray and blue, nothing can compare to you. I think we might have sprung a leak. Past the tail of the bleed. Can't walk straight lines. You're a pain in my, you're such a pain in my. But what about this feeling you left behind that's killing me? Slowly from the inside, slowly, slowly, slowly from the inside, slowly, slowly. You can kiss me with your words. At first I like the way it hurt. The longer I wait, the more I decay, like a nightmare. But there's no escape, there's no escape. What about this feeling you left behind that's killing me? Slowly from the inside, slowly, slowly, slowly from the inside, slowly, slowly. Slowly from the inside, slowly.